So tonight, with the prospect of an impeachment inquiry against President Biden, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy appears to be on board with the idea more than ever. But has he always had this stance? And why now is the Speaker indicating possible impeachment over Republican-led investigations into alleged financial misconduct?
So what an impeachment inquiry does, it gives us the apex of the power of Congress for Republicans and Democrats to gather the information that they need. Where's the truth? You've got to get to the bottom of the truth. And the only way Congress can do that is go to impeachment inquiry that gives Republicans and Democrats the ability to get all the information.
All right, so let's start this off with our panel. Congresswoman, if I may start with you, a little bit of a change of tune here. We haven't always heard this tone with the Speaker. Your thoughts?
Well, just watching that soundbite, really, the only way to get to the truth is to have an impeachment hearing? Like, no, he's been all over the board. He's got the House Freedom Caucus, the farthest of the far right, in his conference, and I think he's listening to them. He is so fearful that he's going to lose his job as Speaker because just one person can bring up what's called the motion to vacate, get him out of the, if there were enough votes to get him out of that Speaker's chair. And I think he's more concerned about his own political future than he is about the nation. And thus now he's all of a sudden going to impeachment talk.
You know, May, we had a statement last night. I said, you know, the Speaker seems to be in a rock and a hard spot. Boy, I've heard that before.
Well, so, you know, is impeachment serious? Well, on one hand, Joe Biden has the ultimate insurance policy, which is Kamala Harris. But on the other hand, if we're looking at the Trump standard or even the Clinton standard, I would say lying about whether or not you are involved in a bribery scheme is much bigger than lying about whether you had sexual relations with that woman. And Trump, the first impeachment was about withholding money from Ukraine so that he could get information. Well, here the allegations are about withholding money from Ukraine because Hunter Biden asked for the stop of an investigation into his company Burisma, which was paying Hunter Biden $83,000 a month. So it really depends on what you're looking at. If it's the Trump standard, if it's the Clinton standard, then why not go through the impeachment process?
There's only one standard, and it's not a fair comparison between Trump and Biden. It's called corroboration. With Trump, you had witnesses, first-hand witnesses, that corroborated what he did in both instances when he was impeached. With Biden, you've had a GOP prosecutor look at his son for 5 years. You've had a Democratic prosecutor look at this, and there's been no corroboration and no first-hand witnesses. In the Burisma report, it's all conjecture and hearsay. Even Burisma's CEO doesn't agree or doesn't confirm that they paid them hundreds of thousands of dollars or $500,000. And so an impeachment inquiry is a political process. It's been investigated already. This is going nowhere, and you're going to give Biden a win. You're going to give him a win during an election year if they go through with this.
Has it been investigated, though?
Well, I don't know if it's going nowhere, Scott. I mean, I don't think he has the votes. Remember, House Republicans just have a 4-seat majority, and this is throwing red meat to the Freedom Caucus. However, there are 18 Republicans who reside in Biden districts. Yeah. They don't want this. And remember, we've talked about impeaching not only Biden, but Mayorkas, right? 6 of them. And these Republicans from Biden districts are the reason why Republicans have the majority, and they could be jeopardized with these kind of votes.
I meant that, too.
Well, I can tell you this, too. Being a Democrat who was in a Trump district, when the talk of impeachment about Donald Trump was always out there. Like on day one of him being sworn in, you remember there was an effort to impeach. I was like, come on. You know, I mean, that is not helpful from a political perspective, whether you are a Republican in a Biden district or a Democrat in a Trump district.
But from the Republicans' standpoint, I think, is we've seen the politicization of the impeachment process, I think. And so if only the Democrats get to use it in a certain manner, and I know you say, oh, there was corroboration. Well, that's exactly what Kevin McCarthy was saying. We need to figure out what's going on. Why has the FBI not finalized this investigation? Why has the U.S. Attorney Weiss not finalized that investigation? What is going on? And to figure that out, he seems to say that the impeachment process would help with that corroboration.
Right.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.